Namaste. Welcome to a fresh week of practicing yoga together. I'm so happy that you're here. This week, the theme that we are exploring is the idea of planting seeds, which, of course, it's springtime, so we can take this concept figuratively and literally. But I'm also going to interweave or just remind all of us to also practice non-attachment to the outcome of the seeds that we plant, or aparigraha in the Yoga Sutras yamas, so the moral guidelines of how we behave in the world. So planting seeds without attachment to the outcome. A nice quote from Robert Louis Stevenson: "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant." Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant. Right? Begin from a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like to you today. Don't be shy to mix it up. If you always land on your mat in the same way, maybe you shift it, maybe as simple as crossing a different leg in front, or maybe today you decide we haven't done Virasana Thunderbolt for a while, or Hero's Pose, so maybe we sit on our heels. Wherever you go, get comfortable as we'll settle in for a few breaths. Shifting around until you feel comfortable in stillness. Allowing whatever activities of the weekend or the morning so far have occurred to just drift away. Arriving here right now. Trusting that this time is valuable. Inhale deeply, feeling the whole body expand. As you exhale, let the breath go, but the spine stays long, crown reaching towards the sky. Maybe you inhale again deeply and exhale, audibly sighing the breath out. You can do that again, feeling the vibration that we can create. Bring your hands together in heart center, gently pressing the palms and fingers together. Shoulders stay relaxing down, marking the beginning of our asana yoga practice by sharing one long round of Om. As always, you're welcome to chant with me. You can create any vibration that you'd like if you'd rather just hum or just enjoy the vibration of sound. So big inhalation for one long Om. Release your hands down to your knees. Inhale, draw your shoulders up to your ears and really squeeze. Exhale, let the shoulders relax down. Twice more. Inhale up and squeeze. Hold here for a moment. Exhale, relax the shoulders down. One more time. All right. Drop one ear to the corresponding shoulder and breathe there. Stretching the neck out as we continue to sit tall. Core gently engaged. With an exhale, let your head roll to the front, moving in a way always that feels good and safe for your body. So be gentle and kind with your neck as you bring the opposite ear to shoulder. And breathing as you exhale, roll the head forward and to the other side. Doing this a few times at a pace that feels good to you. If your neck is okay with it, maybe you drop your head back, chin lifting to sky. Noticing sensations that you can feel, maybe noticing sounds. And switching the directions of your gentle neck rolls. Return to neutral, sitting up tall. Fingertips out to your sides. Relax your shoulders down and keep just a gentle depression going on in the shoulders, little micro lift in the heart. As you inhale, spread your fingers wide, reach your arms out and up, but don't rush this. Let this be an experience in and of itself, all the way up. And slowly as you exhale, let the hands drift back down like an arc of energy around us. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, float them back down, but keep the spine long. Now inhale your right arm up overhead, left fingertips stay on the earth, taking lateral spinal flexion. You might use the left hand on the ground to push the earth away, exaggerating the C-shaped curve of the spine. Keep the right hip especially grounded down, heart lifting towards the sky. The top arm might even float back behind you. Maybe you fluctuate the spine, rounding the heart down and lifting the heart up. Just another breath or two here. On an inhalation, lift all the way up to center, switching sides. Now your left fingertips float up and over. Stay grounded down through your left hip, pushing the earth away to exaggerate our lateral spinal flexion. And maybe as you breathe, you lift the heart, floating the top arm back. And maybe you carefully round the spine down, working into some deep core muscles. And on an inhalation, lift back up, reach both fingertips, both hands high. And exhale, drop the hands down. Grab your strap, which is hopefully nearby. Holding this strap in both hands. Loose grip. I know I tend to really cling to the strap. So loose grip. On an inhalation, float your arms up overhead. And exhale, bring them back behind you. You can let the strap slide. Do this in any way that works for you. Oops. Now you're welcome to keep moving with it. On the inhalations, we lift up. Exhalation, lowering down. Or maybe you find a sweet spot, which I can almost certainly find anywhere with the arms back behind, and you might breathe into it or roll your head and neck. So several slow cycles of breath, whether you're moving with it or settling in for some stillness. Sharpening his claws for the week ahead. Right? Another few breaths. Inhale, if your arms are behind you, back up and over. Keep the strap nearby, but we'll release it off to the side. Scoot off of the blanket if you were on it. Plant your feet and roll down onto your spine. Keep the feet near the hips. We'll take some pelvic tilts. So allowing your low back to lift off of the mat as we inhale, the belly rises. As we exhale, neutralizing the spine back onto the mat, maybe even flattening it out as we lift our tailbone. So moving in a way that feels good to you, hands planted on either side of you, rocking the pelvis forwards and backwards. And notice if you fall into a natural breath rhythm here. So we're engaging around our root chakra here. Our sense of creativity, support, foundation, safety. Return to stillness, gentle engagement of your abdominal muscles, and draw your knees in towards your chest. Emily, if you're on here, of course, for anyone doing prenatal yoga, knees will come a little wider, doing all of this in a way that works for you. Apanasana, knees to chest pose. You can breathe here, gently compressing your internal organs, maybe drawing circles with the knees. So Apanasana, Apana is one of the 5 vayus, or energetic lines of energy in the body, or flows of energy. So Apana Vayu is generally downward, like last week when we were working with grounding. Another way of saying it, we were working with Apana Vayu. Switch directions if you're drawing circles. So in addition to being the downward or elimination energy, it's also the Mula Bandha, like we explored last week, that energy root lock. So it can hold in or it can help us eliminate. All right, return to stillness. Plant both feet with your strap if you have it. If not, you can make do without. Loop the strap over your foot. Resist, pull down on the strap while you stretch the leg long, kicking the foot into the strap. You might keep your left foot planted, maybe you extend your left leg long. Breathe here. Drop your right hip down so we're long through our torso. We're not scrunched up through the right rib cage. Loose grip on the strap. Relax your shoulders into the mat as you breathe here. You might spread your toes wide, maybe even wiggle them. Gently guiding the leg up overhead, the toes overhead behind you, still guiding the right hip down away from your head. It's perfectly fine if a gentle bend comes into your knee. We're just opening up the body. Breathing here. Move the strap into your right hand. Open your left arm out. You can keep your palm planted on the earth if that feels more grounding, or palm to sky, opening up the heart. And as you breathe, slowly start to guide the right leg out and open to the right. Keep your left hip anchored on the mat. Sometimes I bring my left hand to the front of the hip just as an extra rooting or anchoring sensation. And settle in for a few full breaths here. Always moving in ways that feel good to you. So not being too attached to what the posture looks like, but being very aware and in communication with what it feels like. Knowing that things change day to day, minute to minute. Keeping in your mind neutral or maybe even positive thoughts. Not dwelling on what we perceive as limitations, but being in awe of all that we're able to do. As you inhale, guide the leg back to center. Switch the strap into your left hand. Open your right arm out wide. Inhale, long leg. And as you exhale, guide the leg over to the left just a few inches. Notice what's happening on the outside of that right leg. Keep dropping the hip down away from your head, long torso as we breathe. This might be enough. You can stay here, or maybe you keep guiding the leg to the left, allowing the right hip to lift off the mat. Keep guiding the right hip away from your head, long torso, spinal twist. Shoulders stay anchored to the mat as we breathe here. Inhale back to neutral, leg long. With the strap in each hand, if you have it, let's pull it side to side. Some friction on the foot. This is great for massaging the plantar fascia, connective tissue of the foot, which affects the legs. It affects everything because it's all connected, right? And then release the strap. You might notice some tingling sensation on the foot. Go ahead and plant the foot, switching the strap onto the other foot. Resist as you extend the leg long. Maybe you extend your right leg long, settling in here, breathing deeply. Dropping your left hip down, long torso. We're not scrunching up. Relax your shoulders into the mat. Your head is completely supported. You can relax the neck muscles. Breathing as we spread our toes wide, guiding the toes up overhead behind us, but never forcing. Be kind to your hamstrings. Notice the grip that you're holding the strap with. Maybe you can let go a little. Strap into left hand, right arm opens out wide. Inhale deeply. Extend the leg to the sky, and as you exhale, slowly open the left leg out to the left. Breathe here. Gently guiding the left toes up overhead, but again, not forcing it, moving in ways that feel good. Check in that your right hip is still connected to the mat. We're not hiked up. Notice the thoughts that spring to the mind or from the mind during moments of stillness. Or chitta vrittis, the mind stuff that has a tendency to run. Return to the moment with a big inhale, drawing the leg back up to center, switching the strap into the right hand, left arm opens out wide. Long left leg, gently begin to guide the left leg to the right. Just a few inches to start, and re-drop the left hip down towards the right toes. Notice the outer line of the left leg, breathing. And if you'd like, you can take this into a spinal twist, letting the left hip lift off the mat and then guiding it still away from the head, long torso as we breathe. On an inhalation, return to neutral, lifting the left leg to the sky. Release the strap. Oh, sorry, let's do that little foot massage. So if you have the strap, pulling it left hand and right hand down, creating friction on the sole of the foot, plantar fascia. So indirectly, we're massaging the whole body here, but especially the muscles of the legs. And then release the strap. Notice tingling sensation in the foot maybe. Plant both feet. Now we have the option of staying reclined on our back or maybe sitting up. Emily, by this point, I imagine you're seated. So we're coming into figure 4. So in any way that works for you, whether you're seated or reclined, we'll cross our right ankle over our left thigh. If you're on your back, you're welcome to draw your left thigh in towards your chest, maybe even rocking side to side, guiding the right leg away from our torso while we draw the left leg in. And if you choose to sit yourself up, you can keep your hands behind you, lifting your chest, shoulder blades drawing together and down. Still an option to let the legs slide side to side. Breathing wherever you go. As long as it feels safe, anytime throughout practice, you're invited to softly close your eyes or lower your gaze, looking down your cheeks. When we remove one sense, we can imagine the other senses heightening. So maybe you become very aware of the sensations in your body with your eyes closed. Maybe you can feel the texture of the mat or the fabric on your skin. Moving easily, we'll switch legs. So whether you're on your back or seated, Release the right foot to the mat and then cross the left. Breathing deeply. Noticing how one side may feel different from the other. Another few cycles of breath here. Every breath in, we connect with the world all around us. Every breath out, we return a bit of us to the world. Enjoy one more cycle of breath here. And then release the posture. We will all meet seated, passing quickly through Navasana or variations of. Hands back behind you if you'd like to start, engage your core, and maybe you just float your toes off the mat. Maybe this is as far as we go today. Keep in mind, more important to keep the alignment of the spine, core engaged, spine long, than it is to extend the legs. Maybe keeping the chest lifted, we can lift the legs. Maybe the hands come up to support the thighs. Big toes together, toes spread wide. Breathing here, this might be more than enough. Maybe we extend one or both legs long. Keep the spine long, core engaged. Maybe the hands float off the thighs as we breathe. You can always explore and then go back to what feels good. It's another way of planting seeds without attachment to the outcome. One more big inhalation wherever you've gone with it. And exhale, release the posture, make your way into tabletop position. Maybe here you put the blanket under your knees for a little extra support. Just an option to put a block between your upper thighs. Giving that a little squeeze helps us keep our hips in alignment. Move through cat-cow at your own pace. So as you inhale, drop your belly down, shoulder blades slide together, heart pulls forward, opening up the throat. Exhale, round the spine, push the earth away, chin to chest, navel to spine. Now move with your own breath. A great opportunity here to close the eyes if that feels okay. Notice the sound of your breath coming and going. Notice the feeling of the ground under your hands. Where are you sending that weight, that pressure into your hands? We have a tendency to tip it into the heel of our hands or wrists. So let's all try to shift some energy into the fingertips. Fingers are spread really wide here. Think of that external rotation of the upper arms we've talked about. So wrapping the upper arms, that way the elbows point back towards the thighs. Tuck your toes, and on your next exhalation, lift the hips to downward facing dog. You can do this with the block still between the thighs. You might sway your hips side to side, lengthening out the side body. Few breaths here, just settling in and exploring Adho Mukha Svanasana. Keeping in mind this posture is about creating length in the spine, so don't get too attached to the idea of straightening the legs. Most of us have pretty tight hamstrings, just a part of modern life, so give yourself time to open up. On an inhalation, walk your hands back towards your feet. Exhale, hang heavy, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, squeezing the block between the thighs if it's there, long spine. Exhale, gentle bend in the knees, fold forward. Inhale, press down through your feet to rise all the way up, squeezing the block, arms out and up. Press the hips forward, lift the heart. Exhale, hands together at heart center and down by your side. Pause for a moment in Tadasana, mountain pose. So if you have the block there, give that a squeeze and anchor your tailbone down, core muscles engaged. You can imagine like you're tearing the yoga mat in half. Isometric muscle contraction, the muscles are hugging the bones. Neutral pelvis, so tailbone anchoring down, neutralizing our pelvic bowl. We have a tendency to spill it forward. Shoulder blades gliding together and down, crown of the head lifting up. On the next inhalation, your arms sweep out and up, all the way up. Exhale, core engaged, long spine, fold forward, hinging all the way down. Hands touch down, bend in your knees, walk your hands forward, return to downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, drop your knees, release the block if it was there. You're welcome to keep blocks under your hands if you'd like as we move through a slow flow. Inhale, cow, dropping the belly, pulling the heart forward, toes tucked. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your right heel to the sky, three-legged dog. Look forward, exhale, step or swing the right foot to the top of the mat, whatever it takes to get there. You can drop your left knee if you like. You can keep the left leg long. You can keep your hands on the blocks, or on an inhalation, lift the torso. Take any movement that feels good, maybe reaching side to side, maybe drawing circles with the wrists, maybe floating the arms out, lifting the heart. 2 more breaths to explore here. On an inhalation, reach. Exhale your hands down to the blocks and step forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Hands touch down. Right foot floats back in space. You can stay here. You can lower your right knee. Maybe on an inhalation, our torso and arms float up. Taking any movement that feels good. 3 to 5 breaths of exploring and breathing or settling in for stillness. On an inhalation, arms reach up. Exhale, hands down to block or mat. Step yourself back to downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths here. I'll be quiet so we can see what happens in stillness. Gentle bend in your knees if it's not already there. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, drop your knees, coming into hanging cobra. Let the feet lift off the mat, hips drop down, heart pulls forward. Inhaling here. Exhaling here, push the ground away. Inhale, stretch the belly. Exhale, send the hips back. Instead of Shavasana, if you'd like, you can stay in child's pose for the next moment or two. For Shavasana, let's make our way onto our spine if you prefer. Whichever posture you choose for your final rest, allow yourself to be there completely. So once you make your decision, simple as that, stick with it and commit. Inhaling, I am here now. Exhaling, I let go. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant. If you have the time to linger in Shavasana and move on to meditation time, I encourage you to do so. You can silence the video. For others, let's go ahead and slowly return to an easy seated posture, Sukhasana. As you arrive seated tall with a long spine, hands together in heart center, we'll close our practice by sharing one long Om. Big inhalation. Thank you so much for starting your week with me and sharing your yoga practice. Namaste. It was great to see everyone.